Velma.
Honestly, I think that we really revere the characters in the original, and we think, we've really used a lot of their most like the pillars of their personalities and just tried to explore that in a super like respectful and affectionate way. Honestly, I think that we really revere the characters in the original, and we think, we've really used a lot of their most like the pillars of their personalities and just tried to explore that in a super like respectful and affectionate way. Honestly, I think that we really revere the characters in the original, and we think, we've really used a lot of their most like the pillars of their personalities and just tried to explore that in a super like respectful and affectionate way.
You're such a liar. I tried watching episode 5 of Velma and it just got worse. Velma is awful, universally to everyone in her show, including Norville, a character who is almost nothing like Shaggy. Norville is in love with Velma, and she treats him essentially like a servant. Well, in episode 4, Norville realised that Velma wasn't interested in him, so he ends up getting a girlfriend that didn't want him spending a lot of time being Velma's servant. So in episode 5, Velma wants to break up her friend's relationship with his girlfriend so she can continue using him as a servant. And that is when I stopped watching the episode. I read a quote from Mindy Kaling saying, "We've been so inspired by Into the Spider-Verse and seeing these other characters that can embody the spirit of these iconic franchises, and we were like, why don't we try that? We love Scooby Doo so much and we're going to honour it."
She'll wear this like a badge of honour.
Wear it in silence, or I'll honour you again.
My initial video on Velma didn't reach the 3,000 views I said would make me review it, and I don't want to watch Velma, so I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to review Scooby Doo, the OG Scooby Doo, and I'm going to review the second ever episode, A Clue for Scooby Doo, from September the 20th, 1969. Nice. I'm going to compare it and original Scooby-Doo as a whole to Velma, and hopefully that should explain why I don't want to watch Velma and why I would rather watch a children's TV show from 50-sodding years ago. The episode starts out and there is the theme tune, which is frankly like a comfort blanket after watching Velma.
Where are you? We got some work to do now.
It opens on Rocky Point Beach in the middle of the night, where there is a mysterious diver in an old-timey diving outfit which is glowing luminous green and covered in kelp. The diver then plunges into the ocean. Ooh! The Scooby Gang arrive in the Mystery Machine.
Here it is, gang. Rocky Point Beach.
What a groovy spot for a beach party.
You can already taste those chocolate-covered hot dogs.
Yeah, his stomach must be made of scrap iron.
They're just a wholesome bunch of friends, preparing to have a beach party. Daphne and Fred are dancing and having fun, and it was always unclear in Scooby Doo if Daphne and Fred were an item. The show was always so innocent, but later on it got addressed and Daphne was so shy and didn't want to admit to anything. Let's compare that to Velma.
Not now, Daft. Jeez.
Then when, Fred? When?
In Velma, we have a show where Daphne is instead selling drugs and groping Fred against his consent. He's told her no, but she continues to do it anyway. And this is a role reversal of how things usually go in teenage relationships, because usually it's the young man pushing too much and the woman resisting his advances. And this is peak modern feminism, because in modern feminism, there genuinely seems to be a hate for men and also for femininity, and this is becoming another hallmark of current day Hollywood entertainment. It's exactly like She-Hulk. When feminists want to humiliate a man, they write them to behave in a feminine manner. They seem to see nothing as demeaning as femininity, which isn't great because I kind of like it on a woman. Weird, huh? A heterosexual man liking feminine women. It's so cis-heteronormative. The sheer level of narcissism on Mindy Kaling. She writes Velma as a self-insert, and in the show, the hottest guy in school who didn't know she existed reads a book on feminism and realises that Velma's personality makes her far more attractive than any of the hot girls in school he used to have time for. And then when he turns up and asks Velma out, she turns him down. The hottest girl in school also wants Velma. Also, her best friend is in love with her, despite Velma, as a character, being hateful, stupid, dumpy, entirely unattractive, unfunny and having no neck. Oh no! Mindy Kaling got turned down by someone she liked in high school, and sometimes she got bullied. Oh no! That only makes her and pretty much everyone else on Earth. Something else worth noting, as one commenter did under my last Velma video, is that the art in Velma is not bad at all. It's in fact a lot better art than the art in Scooby Doo. And that's peak Hollywood today, having vast resources in comparison and making rubbish that has no heart whatsoever. Original Scooby Doo was probably made for $5 and a hot dog, and it's far better than Velma. Meanwhile, Shaggy is cooking food, and all of the gang like each other. They're good friends. In comparison, everyone in Velma hates and uses each other. Meanwhile, Scooby Doo is surfing and he comes across the mysterious ghostly diver that scares him, and Scooby runs away in terror, knocking over Shaggy and his freshly cooked hot dogs. Then Shaggy and Scooby run away, and these are not complicated characters. It's a kids show. They're cowardly and they like food and they like their friends. How did the makers of Velma mess their characters up this badly? Fred wants to investigate the ghost, but when they all come out from behind the rock, the ghost has gone. So the gang begin their investigation, and they begin at a malt shop where they read the local paper and find out that boats have been disappearing from the local harbour. They go to talk to a man from the story, one Ebenezer Shark, a beach hermit, who claims that boats are going missing because of the ghost of Captain Cutler, the glowing diver. The gang go to see Mr. Shark, and he's very suspicious. He also has a diving suit similar to the one that the ghost has. The gang then go to see the widow of the late Captain Cutler, who's a witch. They also find some glowing seaweed that leads them to go to sea in search of more answers, where they see an unmanned boat move into a cove. They follow it into the cove, and when they get in there, the boat is gone and there was no other way out. So they take their search underwater. They go underwater, find some more clues and get chased by the ghost a lot, and then find a secret underwater door, and behind it an air-filled cavern filled with the stolen boats and a mini submarine. And how does that work? How did the ghost get those yachts in through that small door? How could that tiny submarine pull the boats underwater? Why does the ghost need the yachts if it can afford a submarine? And that's Scooby Doo. The explanations don't ever tend to work, which annoyed me as a kid. But all things in life are comparative, and it doesn't seem so annoying now I have Mindy Kaling to compare it to. Fred then comes up with a hugely unfeasible plan to catch the ghost, which involves a fire hose, a bar of soap and a net, and he does this a lot. His plans never work, but every episode he will try to come up with a similar plan. Then Scooby and Shaggy catch the ghost by accident in nearly every episode. And that is what happens here. The ghost gets caught when Scooby-Doo crashes a boat into it. When they take the mask off, the gang are expecting it to be Shark, but it isn't. It's actually Captain Cutler. It turns out rumours of his death had been greatly exaggerated. The baddies then get arrested, the gang go back to the malt shop for a celebration, and Scooby drinks all of their milkshakes somehow. The show is formulaic, it's silly, it's for kids.
How did Scooby do that?
I guess that's another mystery.
As for Velma, I'm not sure who that's for. Probably just for Mindy Kaling, to be frank. Velma is like a therapy session attempting to treat Mindy Kaling's chronic vulnerable narcissism.
I definitely think this was a home run. Congratulations to you both and can't wait for future seasons.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.